Raggedy Ruth, the doll that burns. She's always smiling. They say evil wears many faces, but hers is stitched into red yarn and faded cotton. A Raggedy Ann doll found in the ruins of a burnt-down plantation. She has no name in the museum archives, but people who have seen what she has done call her Raggedy Ruth. And wherever she goes, history burns. It started in 2025 at a bizarre insect sale in Louisiana. A black antique collector named Leah Jenkins purchased a box of Civil War era artifacts. Inside was a strange Raggedy Ann doll, old, signed in red yarn hair, black button eyes, and around her neck a small tarred tag with one word carved into it: Ruth. That night, Leah dreamed of fire, screams, chains breaking, and laughter. Not cruel, joyful, liberated. She woke up sweating. The doll sat on her dresser, smiling. Leah donated the doll to a documentary team filming at Nottoway Plantation, one of the largest remaining antebellum mansions. They displayed Ruth in a parlor for filming. That night, the building caught fire. Survivors said it was electrical, but footage from inside told another story. At 2:13 a.m., every camera captured the doll sitting up on her own. Her eyes glowed faint red. The chandelier exploded. Curtains ignited. By dawn, Nottoway was in ash. In the smoldering ruins, they found only two things intact: the foundation and the doll, still smiling. The Smithsonian requested the doll for analysis. On the way to D.C., the transfer van passed a Confederate museum in Alabama, home to red flags and uniforms and war medals. As they drove by, a massive tree, healthy, thick, ancient, suddenly snapped in half and collapsed into the museum, destroying half the building. Witnesses claimed they saw a little figure standing in the shadows nearby. Ruth was locked in a steel case the entire time. But when they opened the crate back in D.C., her cloth hands were covered in sap and dirt. The Museum of Confederacy in Richmond refused to cancel their Southern Heritage exhibit despite protests. They proudly placed Raggedy Ruth in a glass box under a spotlight, an example of antebellum toys. That night, alarms blared. Footage showed the glass vibrating, cracking, then shattering inward. The cameras went dark. At 3:33 a.m., the janitor found the entire east wing flooded, blood-colored water seeping from the walls. Every Confederate artifact soaked, rotten, destroyed. The doll was found sitting in the curator's chair, still smiling. Desperate for answers, Leia returned to Louisiana. Deep in the library archives, she found it. In 1858, an enslaved girl named Ruth sewed dolls for her master's children. But when she was caught teaching other enslaved children to read using handmade toys, she was beaten and locked in a burning shed as punishment. They never found her body, only a scorched doll. And after that, the plantation began to fail. Crops rotted, buildings crumbled, and one by one, every descendant of the owner died under weird circumstances. The last record reads, "The doll is cursed. It burns down everything we build." Word spread. Activists, historians, and curious began tracking Ruth's appearances. Wherever she went, something always fell. A Confederate statue in Mississippi split in two after someone set the doll as base. A courthouse known for racist rulings caught fire after housing her in a historical toy exhibit. A private collector who purchased her for $50,000 was found buried under collapsed bookshelves. Everyone revisits history, and every time the doll was untouched, smiling. In 2026, Ruth disappeared. Some say she was stolen, others say she walked away. But late one night, a Confederate reenactment camp in Georgia was reduced to cinders. Every prop, every flag, every tent, all gone. In the center of the ashes, firefighters found one thing: a doll, red yarn hair, button eyes, hand outreach pointing north. Some say she headed for the next monument, the next lie, the next injustice made by scarce history. Because Ruth is not here for revenge. She's here for truth. And the truth is like fire, leaves nothing behind.